Have you ever considered that the refrigerator, a seemingly harmless and indispensable household appliance, might be silently affecting the health of your elderly loved ones? In supermarkets across California or New York, thousands of vegetables are packaged, chilled, and displayed in gleaming refrigerators. Consumers, especially older adults, have long believed that storing everything in the fridge is the best way to keep food fresh and safe for the long term. But perhaps no one has warned them that this very habit could reduce the nutritional quality of food and even cause harm. It's worth reflecting on the fact that certain vegetables, when refrigerated, not only lose their nutrients, but can also produce harmful compounds like acrylamide, a substance linked to inflammation and nerve damage in the elderly. Meanwhile, some vegetables are highly prone to bacterial contamination if not properly chilled, increasing the risk of food poisoning, especially for those with age-weakened immune systems. But don't worry, there are always simple and effective solutions. By simply understanding which vegetables need refrigeration and which ones should be stored at room temperature, you can easily protect your loved ones from unnecessary health risks. In this video, I'll clearly explain the 4 vegetables that seniors should never refrigerate and the 4 that absolutely must be properly chilled, along with easy handling tips you can apply right at home. If you find this topic helpful, please click like and share it so more people can benefit. And if you've ever wondered, could there be something dangerous hiding in my fridge? Then join me in uncovering the answer right now. Potatoes. Don't let the refrigerator turn them into a silent hazard. Potatoes are one of the most familiar foods in every kitchen. Easy to prepare, delicious, and nutritious. They're often considered completely safe. Yet precisely because of their ubiquity, many people store them incorrectly, quietly creating health risks, especially for older adults. Have you ever cooked potatoes and noticed an unusually sweet taste? Or when frying them, they quickly turn an abnormally dark brown? Those seemingly harmless signs are actually clear warnings that the potatoes have been chilled improperly. When kept in a cold environment like a refrigerator, the starch in potatoes converts into sugar. And when these potatoes are then cooked at high temperatures, such as frying or roasting, those sugars react with natural amino acids to form acrylamide. Scientists have warned that acrylamide can cause nerve damage, increase inflammation, and even be linked to cancer risk if it accumulates in the body over time. For seniors whose nervous systems are more sensitive and whose detoxification capacity declines with age, this danger is even more concerning. That's not all. Refrigerated potatoes also sprout more easily. Those sprouts contain solanine, a natural toxin that can cause nausea, headaches, and digestive upset if ingested. Green skins and a softer texture are also clear signs that you're storing them incorrectly. The good news is that all these risks can be avoided very simply. You don't need modern technology or special storage equipment. You only need to change the potatoes' environment. Store them in a well-ventilated, dry place, in a mesh basket, paper bag, or a container with ventilation holes. The ideal temperature is between 45 degrees Fahrenheit and 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius to 13 degrees Celsius. Cool but not cold enough to disrupt starch structure. Avoid direct sunlight, high humidity, and placing potatoes near onions, since ethylene gas from onions will make potatoes spoil faster. A small change like this can make a big difference for long-term health. As we enter a stage of life that requires more careful self-care, understanding the characteristics of each food, how they breathe, live, and react to their environment is the key to proactive, sustainable well-being. If potatoes are one of the vegetables you should keep outside the fridge, what else in your own kitchen is being mistreated? Next, let's learn about onions, their kitchen companion that absolutely hates the cold. Onions. Don't turn this natural anti-inflammatory into a moldy mess in your fridge. Onions are more than just a familiar ingredient in most dishes. They're also considered a natural anti-inflammatory and antibacterial food. Unfortunately, improper storage is turning this valuable benefit into a hidden health hazard for many people without them even realizing it. Many assume that putting everything in the fridge will make it last longer, stay cleaner, and be safer. But onions don't belong to that group. In reality, placing onions in the fridge, a humid, poorly ventilated environment, creates ideal conditions for mold growth. The onions become soft, damp, smelly, and gradually lose their distinctive flavor. Even worse, the beneficial sulfur compounds in onions, responsible for their anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, deteriorate significantly in cold and moist conditions. There's another often overlooked mistake: wrapping onions in plastic bags and storing them in the fridge. This traps moisture, causing the onions to rot from the inside out. Many people don't notice until they cut into them, only to find the inner layers moldy or mushy. Eating onions in this state not only ruins the taste of your dish, but also poses digestive risks, especially for older adults, who are more vulnerable to gastrointestinal issues and foodborne illness. Instead, onions should be treated like a living item, kept in a dry, breathable environment where they're not confined. The best place is a ventilated basket stored in a cool corner of the kitchen, away from direct sunlight and absolutely away from potatoes. Why? Both onions and potatoes emit ethylene gas, which accelerates spoilage when stored close together. Also, avoid peeling off the outer skin of onions before use. That dry outer layer acts as natural armor, protecting the inner flesh from moisture and bacteria. Proper storage not only extends the shelf life of onions, but also preserves their nutritional value. Onions are rich in flavonoids and quercetin, two powerful antioxidants that help protect the heart, reduce joint inflammation, and strengthen the immune system. These benefits are only fully realized when onions remain fresh and structurally intact. In the end, if you're aiming to make your kitchen not just clean but also a hub for health, start with the smallest habits. A single onion, stored correctly, can not only elevate your meals but also become a quiet ally in your daily wellness. Keeping onions out of the fridge isn't a quirky habit, it's a choice grounded in science. And by changing this small routine, you're making a quiet but lasting investment in your health day by day. Tomatoes cold won't keep them fresh. It only destroys their value. Many people instinctively place tomatoes in the refrigerator right after bringing them home, thinking it's the safest way to preserve them. But if you've been doing that, you might unknowingly be stripping away most of the flavor, texture, and vital nutrients of this lycopene-rich fruit. Biologically speaking, tomatoes are classified as a fruit, and like most fresh fruits, they need to breathe, maintain their natural cell structure, and are highly sensitive to cold temperatures. When placed in the fridge, the cellular membranes in tomatoes begin to break down. As a result, the texture turns mushy, the skin separates from the flesh, the aroma fades, and the flavor becomes bland, or even oddly sour. But the loss goes beyond taste and texture. Tomatoes are rich in a powerful compound called lycopene, scientifically proven to have antioxidant properties, reduce inflammation, and help protect against prostate cancer and heart disease. Unfortunately, lycopene significantly diminishes when tomatoes undergo cold shock. This means that even if you're still consuming the same quantity, you're getting a nutritionally impoverished version of what was once a potent health food. From a physiological perspective, the aging body already absorbs nutrients less efficiently. That's why every food source needs to be kept as intact and high quality as possible. Eating tomatoes that have lost their flavor and nutrients doesn't just lessen the enjoyment of a meal, it means missing out on a natural shield against oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, two major drivers of age-related decline. So what's the solution? It's simple. Store tomatoes at room temperature in a cool, shaded place away from direct sunlight. Keep them in a breathable container like a basket or an open box, and avoid stacking them to prevent bruising. If you purchase slightly unripe tomatoes, let them ripen slowly in open air. Once fully ripe, they taste better and have the highest lycopene concentration. The only time tomatoes should be refrigerated is if they're overripe and you need to slow the spoilage for a day or two before using them. Understanding tomatoes the right way helps you not only preserve their flavor, but also safeguard your health. A potato stored outside the fridge, a tomato kept at room temperature. These aren't just kitchen tips, but conscious choices for smarter, healthier living. Garlic, don't let the fridge steal its natural anti-inflammatory power. Garlic has long been regarded as nature's antibiotic in every kitchen. Just a few small cloves can elevate the flavor of an entire dish while offering significant benefits for the immune system, blood pressure, and heart health. But if you've been storing garlic in the refrigerator, chances are you're unintentionally stripping away much of this potent spice's most valuable properties. Have you ever opened your fridge only to find garlic sprouting, damp, or emitting an unpleasant odor? Did you know that each time this happens, you're losing not only its flavor, but also allicin, the powerful anti-inflammatory compound found in garlic? Garlic is not suited for cold storage. In fact, the refrigerator's moist, poorly ventilated environment is ideal for garlic to sprout and develop mold. Once sprouted, the concentration of allicin, the key compound responsible for garlic's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and blood pressure stabilizing effects, rapidly declines. Its structure and aroma also change, becoming sharper, drier, and less fragrant than usual. For older adults who often need immune-boosting foods, losing this source of natural allicin is a significant setback. Beyond nutrient loss, refrigerating garlic increases the risk of mold and bacterial buildup, especially if it's kept in sealed plastic bags or airtight containers. Mold spores growing on the surface often go unnoticed but can affect digestion if consumed, particularly dangerous for seniors with sensitive digestive systems or those on medication. The good news? Garlic is easy to please. All it needs is a dry, well-ventilated space with a stable room temperature to retain its flavor and bioactive compounds for weeks, even months. Store garlic in a mesh basket, ceramic jar, or perforated container to ensure airflow. Avoid direct sunlight, high humidity, and never store it in plastic bags or sealed containers. A small tip: don't peel the outer skin until you're ready to use it. This dry layer acts like natural armor, protecting garlic from moisture and bacteria. Garlic is one of nature's simplest yet most effective health gifts. Preserving its full value doesn't require advanced knowledge or high-tech tools, just an understanding of how it breathes, lives, and reacts to its environment. If you're seeking long-term wellness from the smallest things, start with the cloves in your kitchen. When garlic is stored properly, you're not only preserving its original flavor, but also its most powerful healing abilities. Leafy greens. Refrigeration isn't just a choice, it's a must for protecting your health. Leafy greens are a cornerstone of every healthy diet. From kale and spinach to lettuce, these vegetables offer not only vital fiber, but also an abundance of essential vitamins like A, C, and K, nutrients particularly critical for older adults. However, if not stored properly, these very greens can become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria without you even realizing it. We're often drawn to the freshness of a newly purchased bunch of greens, but after just one night at room temperature, they start to wilt, soften, and lose color, a sign not only of dehydration, but also of an environment ripe for bacterial growth. Leafy greens are highly sensitive to temperature and are especially vulnerable to contamination by bacteria like E. coli and Listeria, two of the most common culprits behind dangerous foodborne illnesses, particularly among seniors or those recovering from illness with weakened immune systems. On the other hand, when stored correctly, between 35 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit, leafy greens retain their freshness, crunch, and, most importantly, their fragile vitamins such as vitamin C. Vitamin A helps maintain vision, vitamin K supports blood clotting and bone protection, and vitamin C acts as a powerful antioxidant, slowing down cellular aging. These micronutrients are unstable and degrade quickly if greens are exposed to heat, light, or left unrefrigerated. So how can you store leafy greens properly? Keep them in the refrigerator's designated crisper drawer, where humidity and temperature are most stable. Before placing them inside, line the storage bag or container with a clean paper towel. The towel absorbs excess moisture, preventing the greens from becoming soggy. Avoid washing the greens before refrigeration, as the added water accelerates spoilage. Instead, rinse them just before use. Here's another helpful tip. Use ventilated containers or breathable bags so the greens don't suffocate. If using plastic containers or zip bags, leave a corner open to allow air circulation. For fragile greens like lettuce, avoid compressing or stacking them too tightly, as this causes bruising and speeds up spoilage. When you store leafy greens the right way, you're doing more than keeping food fresh. You're providing your body with a reliable daily source of natural vitamins. This is especially crucial for older adults who need anti-inflammatory nutrients to boost immunity and protect cells from age-related decline. You may not be able to see vitamins with the naked eye, but the benefits of proper storage show up clearly in your skin, digestion, immune strength, and even your daily mood. Leafy greens aren't just food, they're living energy, and they only deliver their full power when preserved the way nature intended. Carrots, coolness is crucial to preserve. This precious nutrient, carrots are more than just a symbol of good eyesight. They are among the richest sources of beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A powerful antioxidant that supports eye health, skin vitality, and immune strength. But all these benefits can quickly diminish if carrots are stored improperly, especially when left at room temperature. Though carrots may seem resilient with their firm skins and solid texture, they are actually highly sensitive to their surroundings. High temperatures and low humidity quickly cause them to lose moisture, turn limp, and start to wilt. The skin becomes wrinkled and the flesh turns spongy and bland, clear signs that their cellular structure has been compromised. When that happens, not only does flavor suffer, but the beta-carotene, easily broken down in unstable environments, significantly declines as well. Improperly stored carrots can also develop surface mold or bacterial contamination. Keeping them in airtight plastic bags or mixing them with ripening fruits speeds up spoilage. For older adults whose digestion is slower and more sensitive, this is especially important. Wilted or contaminated carrots, if not thoroughly cleaned, may cause indigestion or even gastrointestinal issues. The best way to store carrots is in your refrigerator's vegetable drawer, ideally between 35 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit, with moderate humidity to keep them fresh and crisp for longer. If your carrots still have their green tops attached, trim them before storage. The greens draw moisture from the root, causing the carrot to dry out faster. If you've already peeled or chopped them, store them in an airtight container submerged in cold water and change the water daily to maintain freshness and prevent bacterial growth. Refrigeration doesn't just slow spoilage, it also helps preserve the full amount of beta-carotene. For anyone dealing with age-related vision concerns or looking to strengthen their immune system naturally, keeping carrots fresh is an easy yet powerful way to nourish the body every day. Another bonus, carrots are incredibly versatile. Whether eaten raw, cooked in soup, juiced, or blended into a smoothie, they retain most of their nutrients so long as they've been stored correctly. From a midday salad to an evening stew, just a few fresh carrot slices deliver a healthy dose of nutrients to your meal. Living well doesn't begin in the doctor's office or with a prescription. It starts in your fridge and with how you store your produce. When you respect the natural needs of each type of food, you're also practicing mindful and intelligent self-care. Cucumbers, a delicate vegetable that needs refrigeration from the start. With over 95% water content, cucumbers are one of the most hydrating vegetables, helping to cool the body, replenish fluids, and gently provide essential minerals. But that same high water content also makes cucumbers one of the most perishable produce items if not refrigerated promptly after purchase. Have you ever left a few cucumbers out on the kitchen counter for a few days, only to find them soft, wrinkled, or giving off an odd smell? These aren't just signs of surface spoilage. They're clear warnings that essential electrolytes, B vitamins, and natural enzymes in the cucumber have already begun to break down. Cucumbers are extremely sensitive to ambient temperatures. When left unrefrigerated, especially in warm or humid conditions, they begin to lose moisture through their thin skin. This leads to spongy flesh, a loss of crunch, and nearly all of their hydrating capability. Cucumbers also contain B vitamins, crucial for nerve function and energy metabolism. But these nutrients are unstable and quickly diminish as the vegetable wilts or deteriorates. The good news is that proper cucumber storage is incredibly simple. Just place them in your refrigerator's crisper drawer where the temperature and humidity are optimal. There's no need to wrap them in plastic or seal them tightly. In fact, doing so can trap moisture and cause them to rot. Instead, store them in a thin paper bag, a ventilated container, or simply uncovered in the vegetable drawer. If they've been cut, place the slices in a sealed container and eat them within 2 to 3 days to maintain their crunch and nutritional value. Cucumbers are more than just a refreshing side dish. They're a powerful source of natural hydration, helping regulate blood pressure and soothe digestion. For older adults who often experience dry mouth, dehydration, and fatigue from electrolyte loss, a few slices of fresh cucumber each day can make a noticeable difference in how they feel. Choosing the right way to store a cucumber may seem like a small act, but it has a big impact on health preservation. Not all foods require special conditions to retain their value, but for some, like cucumbers, all it takes is respecting their living threshold. And now that you understand why cucumbers belong in the fridge, let's move on to another cooling companion, bell peppers, a vibrant fruit packed with powerful vitamin C. Bell peppers, vibrant colors that must be preserved in the cold. Bell peppers are a highlight in every kitchen, not just for their vibrant colors, but also for their sweet flavor, signature crunch, and impressive nutritional value, especially their rich vitamin C content. But their eye-catching appearance can be deceiving when it comes to durability. In truth, without proper refrigeration, bell peppers quickly lose their crispness, their skins wilt, and their nutrient levels, particularly vitamin C, one of the most temperature-sensitive nutrients, rapidly decline. Many people are used to storing bell peppers at room temperature, like other fruits, especially when they still look fine after a day or two. But inside, silent changes have already begun. Cell tissues lose moisture, vitamin C starts to break down, and the antioxidant power, which makes bell peppers a golden gift for the immune system, diminishes hour by hour. By contrast, when stored correctly in a cold environment, bell peppers retain not only their crunch, but also nearly all of their original vitamin C. Just one medium bell pepper can provide twice the recommended daily intake of vitamin C, crucial for older adults to protect cells, aid iron absorption, and combat the effects of aging. To get the most out of your bell peppers, store them in the refrigerator's crisper drawer as soon as you get home. The best method is to place them in a thin fabric bag, a paper bag, or a ventilated plastic container. Avoid sealing them in airtight plastic bags, as trapped moisture can cause them to soften or rot. If the pepper has been cut, wrap the remainder tightly in plastic wrap, or place it in an airtight container and use it within 3 to 5 days to maintain freshness and flavor. Bell peppers are incredibly versatile. They can be eaten raw in salads, sautéed, stuffed, roasted, or even juiced. When kept fresh and nutrient-rich, they don't just add color to your meals, they serve as a natural vitamin dose that supports your overall health. By storing them properly, you're not just preserving the beauty of bell peppers, you're also maintaining balance and vitality in your daily diet. Every decision made in the kitchen, no matter how small, is a step toward long-term wellness. Thank you for staying with me until the very last moments of this video. Your dedication to health, both your own and that of your loved ones, is truly admirable. Together, we've explored 8 familiar vegetables, from potatoes and onions to leafy greens and bell peppers, and uncovered an important truth. Not every food belongs in the fridge, and not all should be left out. Each has its own living threshold, an ideal environment to preserve its nutrients, flavor, and healing power. So what did you take away from today's journey? Is there a vegetable you've been storing incorrectly without realizing it? Where will you begin making changes? By moving your potato basket out of the fridge, or by lining your crisper drawer with a paper towel for leafy greens? I'd love to hear your experiences or the habits you're inspired to adopt after watching. If you found this video helpful, please don't hesitate to click like, share it with family and friends, or save it for future reference. Even a small action can help spread knowledge, especially to those caring for older family members who deserve the very best in nutrition and wellness. I hope you'll continue joining me in future episodes where we'll uncover more seemingly small kitchen habits that can significantly improve daily health and quality of life. Let's build a community that lives mindfully, healthfully, and meaningfully, starting from the simplest things. And always remember, it's never too late to start living well, living intentionally, and living fully each and every day.